What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of MissFlips. In today's episode, we are participating in the Ugly Duckling Challenge hosted by Corey over at Desert DIY. There are so many participants, so make sure to go check out the playlist. The link is in the description below. But without further ado, let's get flippin'.
All right, gang, are you ready for this one? I can't say that I am. It is an absolute doozy. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace from a hair salon, and it is covered in hair and product and all sorts of stuff. And it had obviously been redone a few times because there were several layers of paint on it and wood filler all in different places, but you know, at least they had some sort of an artistic flair. So the first thing that we're gonna do is take out all the drawers and make sure that we get out everything that is inside of them and get to cleaning. But since this piece is so filthy anyways, and I'm just gonna be peeling off the paint, I decided not to clean it and just get to peeling the paint. But what do we always do before peeling paint or cleaning a piece? We remove the hardware, and this gave me the opportunity to look at these beautiful drawers. Delicious. Also, excuse me using a scraper tool to undo my screws. When I went up to Kentucky to redo this piece for my cousin, I accidentally left my screwdriver and screw heads there, so flipping has been fun. Luckily though, I looked up in one of the drawers and hell, there's marks of it being well made. So I got to peeling the paint, and for this process I am using my trusty heat gun to remove all the paint and make sure that it gets off nice and smooth. I moved on to a putty knife because obviously the scraper wasn't working very well because it literally heated up and burned my hand. So yeah, if you have a putty knife or something like that, use it. When I got to scraping off the trim, it kind of came off with the paint, so I just decided to roll with it and decided that I was going to just put on some edge trim stuff, edge iron on stuff. Yeah, botched that name, great. You know what I'm talking about. And if not, I'll show you later, because I don't remember the name right now. Ooh, it's been a long night. As I was scraping over this drawer, I realized that some of the veneer was starting to pop off, so I went in very carefully to get the paint off of the top of it, and then just decided to go ahead and rip the whole piece of veneer off. That way I could get glue in all of the bits and make sure that it would never pop off again, because when you have a piece that's just coming off like this, you can't get glue way back deep into it where it needs to go in order to really stay on. So I just popped it off and glued it back down and then sanded and did the same thing with this one. at the end of the day, I just popped it all off and made repairs where they needed to go. And then for the hardware, I boiled them in vinegar and water and then, polished them off. But yeah, the paint was a bad look. I don't recommend just cheaply painting hardware, Get stuff that's made for hardware instead of gross silver paint that you decide to paint the whole dresser in. No judgment. Okay, maybe a little judgment, but no judgment. And then finally, after all that scraping, it was finally time to sand. Yay! My favorite part. And mind you, I did this all in the past 2 days, pretty much. And I am exhausted. This was a tiring 2 days. It's a lot of work to strip a piece, and if you can avoid doing it, if you can find a piece that is not covered in 50 billion layers of paint, do that instead, because this honestly probably for me is not going to be worth the time, or not even worth the time. The time that I spent wasn't honestly that long. It just isn't worth the effort for me. It's just so straining on the body. And I would recommend just flipping easier pieces, although it is the most satisfying to watch this transition, for me at least. I like watching videos that are like this, that are completely redoing a piece that was covered in gunky stuff. But yeah, it's just, gosh, have I ranted enough yet? Or are you tired of that yet? Although these drawers were super nasty, they honestly weren't that hard to clean. I just went in with a sander and then went in with some oxalic acid and put it on there, and then sanded it all back again and then oiled them up, and they turned out great. So yeah. And then for this little repair, I just went in and sanded it off, and it was great. Look how great it matches. It lined up perfectly. And now it won't ever pop off again. Yay! I promise I did not burn through the veneer this bad. This was already there when I was sanding it down. I actually uncovered it by scraping off the paint and sanding it down. I was planning on originally keeping this top part, the just plain wood, but unfortunately I couldn't do that. So yeah, then I went on to making other repairs. And when you have a repair like this, where the veneer is torn up like that, I would recommend cutting it out like I'm doing right now, and just, it just makes matching up a piece of veneer to replace it with so much easier. So yeah, just do this instead of trying to fit, a crazy jigsaw puzzle inside another crazy jigsaw puzzle, because that is never fun for anyone. And what do you know? More scraping. Don't you love it? I don't. Sorry, I'm being so ranty today. Anyways, for these little bits right here, usually you wouldn't have to scrape them off completely, but I wanted these details to be natural wood, just like the rest of the piece. So yeah, one could say that I brought this on myself. Yeah, one could definitely say that, for sure. And yes, there was more scraping. And more scraping, and more, then hand sanding, and more hand sanding, and oh, look, more hand sanding. Oh, it's great. In all seriousness, though, I started off with a 180 grit and then moved on to a 220 grit just to make sure that everything was soft. And for this top part here, I really wanted to make sure that it was nice and smooth, so I went over it with a 300 grit sandpaper just to make it nice and soft. After kind of figuring out exactly what I wanted to do with the piece, I didn't like the gold color that the hardware was originally, so I decided to go in with some black spray paint and just give it a nice coat, and then went over it with a coat of polyurethane and then vacuumed off the whole entire piece so that I could get to painting. For the paint, I am trying Good Bones paint for the very first time in the color Noir. This is my first partnership ever with a paint brand, so woo! I'm so excited, yay! And honestly, I am not even kidding when I'm telling you that the coverage on this stuff is better than any paint I have ever used. This is my first time using them ever. It goes on a little thick, and that is why I ended up getting some water to spray on there, and then I just brushed over with that, and honestly that helped so much. But guys, the coverage, it goes on like butter, baby. That stuff is so smooth, and yeah, one coat and it was almost entirely covered. And not only that, but it dries astonishingly fast. Like, even as I was painting, if you look at the left corner of the black paint where I just painted over, it was already drying. It's crazy. This stuff is, yeah, unbelievable. If you would like to try out their products, make sure to check out the link in the description below where you can find all of their products, as well as using my 15% off coupon code. Ow, ow! By the way, if you guys are looking for another way to support MissFlips, please make sure to go check out my membership program. I have so many awesome benefits in there for you guys. Thank you so much to those of you who have signed up already. You guys are amazing. And if you're not vibing with the membership program, no worries at all. Please make sure to support in other ways, like liking and subscribing and doing all those things, because us YouTube flippers put so much work into creating this content for you guys. So any support is very appreciated. This is honestly probably the most shoddy job I've ever done at repairs, but I was exhausted and in a rush to finish this video. Honestly, this was all done last night. So, yeah, I was just wanting to get it over with. If you want to do your own repairs that are like this, I know Emily over at Reconstructing Emily has a lot of amazing repairs like this, and she does it way better and shows the details in her videos amazingly well. So yeah, follow her lead and not mine. For the little details, instead of going in and trying to get all that silver paint up, I just decided to go in there with a detail brush and paint it black because I thought that it would look really cool and, of course, match with the rest of the piece. But by the way, if you ever get a spot like this on your piece, don't scrape it up or try to smudge it up or wipe it up or whatever. Just wait until it dries. That way it doesn't leave a whole streak of paint across your thing and you can just clean it up later. Edge banding. I now know that edge banding is the word that I was looking for before. So yeah, that's what we're doing now. We're putting on some edge banding, and it's actually so much easier. This is the first time I've ever done it, and it's so much easier than I thought it would be. I have this cutie little mini iron that I got off of Amazon. It is just adorable, and it works perfectly for this, so I decided to use it, and it worked great. Before I show you guys the end result, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Corey at Desert DIY for hosting this awesome challenge. It was a pain in my butt, let me tell you, but you know, I feel like we persevered and I actually really like the way this piece turned out. I still have a couple of things to do, a couple touch-ups. I still have to wipe the oxalic acid off. I've just been cramming to get this done in time, but we did it, kind of, sort of. But anyways, make sure to check out the other videos. There are so many amazing artists, and please make sure to like, subscribe, and do all those things so that we can stay a happy flippin' family. And until next time, stay flippin', guys.